Welcome back, True Seeker. As we're going live, breaking news. This is not in the title of the video, but it is the breaking news just minutes ago. Bill Walton is dead, the NBA great who made a name for himself in recent years doing commentary for the games, which was very interesting for older people because when Bill Walton was in the NBA, he had a major speech impediment and stuttering problem and couldn't even talk. So for him to be calling games later in his life was interesting. But of course, Bill Walton, who won the only championship for my hometown Portland Trail Blazers, did that over the 76ers in the 76-77 season. He did finish his career with the Boston Celtics. And of course, the Celtics are the big 71 team. In Gematria, Celtics equals 71. Notice Bill Walton is gone at age 71. And he's one of those big Celtics names like Bill Russell, who died on that last day of the Jesuit Nation year. And yes, I see Open Up has it in the chat. From Bill Russell's death, July 31st, 2022 to today is 666 days later. The Celtics do have a chance to close out the Pacers today in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. And if that does happen, Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Indiana Pacers, who also played for the Celtics back in the time that Bill Walton was there, Rick Carlisle will stay on 71 career playoff wins if he does not win tonight and gets swept. So that remains to be seen. But yes, Rick Carlisle on 71 wins. You might recall Boston swept through Miami in the opening round, hold on. No, they didn't sweep them. They went 4-1 against them. And they became 7-1 against the Miami Heat for the year. We're always talking about 71 and Celtics. Remember, the NBA Finals do begin this year on the Boston Celtics' 78th birthday, June 6th. The Boston Celtics turn 78. This is the 78th NBA season. The small way, the full team name, Boston Celtics 78. We thought before the season began they'd be the most likely team to represent the East in the finals. They're a game away from doing it. But yeah, it's just sad how this stuff happens all the time, and almost no one blinks an eye. Former Celtic dead the day of a potential closeout game, and again, that's when you learn gematria. You see through the ritual. You understand why he's really dead at 71, and yeah, it's too bad. This league is something else. So Bill Walton, Bill Russell. If you didn't know, Bill, that name derives from the word ball. Of course, balls are big in sports. Bill and ball. When Bill Russell died, again, he went to the Jesuit School, University of San Francisco, played for the Celtics, won 11 championships, died on the 31st of the month. 31's the 11th prime. Again, died on the very last day of the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year to celebrate the 500th anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola being shot. And then dies on the anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola's death. And right after the Celtics lost to the San Francisco team in the finals in a huge ritual, perfectly synced with the Catholic Pope. And with regards to Celtics equaling 71, so does Catholic. Catholic's another big 71 word. And again, if you're new here, we talk about it all the time. So I didn't do a full decode on this because the news just broke. I just caught wind right before I was about to go live. And Bill Walton's dead 204 days after his birthday. That's interesting because Jewish mysticism has that gematria 204. Hello, Adam Silver. R.I.P. David Stern. But yeah, Bill Walton began his career with the Blazers in 74. Remember, there's only 50 states. Only one of them equals 74, and it is Oregon, the 33rd state. So he comes to Oregon in 74, wins them their only championship, and that's because the NBA is nothing but scripts. I mean, Blazers probably should have won several championships in the 90s, early 2000s. I don't think there's ever been a better assembled roster in the history of the NBA, honestly, if you look back at those old Blazer teams. When I was a kid, it was nice growing up in Portland in the time I did because the Blazers were went to 20-some straight playoff appearances. They were just dominant every year. But everyone remembers when they gave up the 20-point lead in the fourth quarter to Kobe and Shaq for the famous alley-oop. Again, that wouldn't have happened if Portland was the bigger city. They got to have that bigger market in the rig championship. Blazers had to stop playing in the fourth quarter, give up the big old lead. Scottie Pippen not allowed to go to finals without MJ. Of course, Pippen was on that team. Bill Walton was calling games back then. Oh yeah, R.I.P. Bill Walton. It's too bad. 71. Oh, and by the way, look at what year he finished with the Celtics. Last year with the Celtics was 87. Who's 87 right now? Who is 87 right now? The old Pope, right? All these big 87 rituals in the time of the Pope. And again, speaking of rituals that most people just can't wrap their mind around, it's the tornadoes. The word tornado in Gematria is 87. Again, the first act of weather warfare ever admitted to in the history. This year, right now, it's been 71 years and change since the first act of weather warfare was ever admitted to. That was on the Jesuit order's birthday, August 15th, 1952. We're coming up on the 72nd anniversary in the time of the first ever Jesuit Pope, who became the first ever Jesuit Pope on the 72nd day of the year. But we've been talking about this, just the crazy tornadoes this year. And now here we are on Memorial Day to remember the war on America by members of its own country. Again, the Memorial Day holiday comes out of remembering the dead from the U.S. Civil War. We talked about this in a big way yesterday. But now here we are a day later, and now the tornado warnings are for Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, Philadelphia, the old capital, and Baltimore, where the first blood was spilled in the history of the U.S. Civil War. And again, look into the day that the first blood was spilled for the U.S. Civil War. It was April 19th in Baltimore, another Jesuit Catholic stronghold. April 19th is the day in history that Ignatius of Loyola became the superior general of the Jesuits. And April 19th is the day in history the American Revolutionary War began, and it's a day connected to tragedy all over, from Waco to Oklahoma City to what happened in Canada in 2020, where they lost their gun rights because of the supposed guy who stole a perfect Mountie uniform and Mountie car and drove up and down Route 102 smoking people left and right. But, yeah, tornadoes in the capital on Memorial Day. And again, today's date, the majority of the world writes it 27/5. Federal government equates to 275. Federal government city is under tornado watch. So is Baltimore, again, where the first people died in the American Civil War, April 19th, 1861. And again, that's the thing that's silly about our history book, too, right? They say the American Civil War began April 12th, a week earlier. And they said the only casualty of the first battle was a horse. It's funny that horse equals 65, like how the Civil War ended in 1865. And of course, April 12th is the 102nd day of the year, and the Jesuit motto, Art of War equals 102, like how we know about the text Art of War because of a Jesuit priest, Father Amiot. But yeah, a reminder, this year on the 201st day of the year, they're putting out a new Hollywood movie about tornadoes. And then in the year that this movie's coming out, it's the craziest year ever for tornadoes, and they're putting out on the 201st day of the year. Again, weather control equals 201, like the Jesuit order, like the first act of weather warfare, again, admitted to on the Jesuit order's birthday, like how Lyndon Johnson said, who controls the weather controls the world, 201 days after JFK died at Jesuit Holy Cross, June 10th, 1964. And again, just all the other things that we pointed out over the years about weather control and weather warfare. The other year when part of Yellowstone got wiped out, that was June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. They said it was a once in a 1,000-year rain event. 1 in 1,000 on the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Go figure. But yeah, with regards to tornado being 87 and the Pope being 87 years old, tornado in Gematria again is 87. Let's not forget the Catholic Pope equals 201, just like he's the first Jesuit Pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. His birth name is 201. The founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, is 201 in the small way, 87. So again, it's not an accident that movie's coming out on the 201st day of the year, and tornadoes are just crazy this year in places that they don't normally show up. And I did notice one thing stood out to me today about the day of the release of the movie. We'll see if Philadelphia ends up getting hit with a tornado, because the movie comes out 215 days after the Pope's birthday. And of course, that's the Philadelphia area code, 215. So we'll see what happens. Warning today doesn't mean it's going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't. But it does stand out a bit on this Memorial Day in light of what this day is about, to remember warfare waged against its own country by certain people. And again, weather warfare. When your nation's controlled by central bankers who aren't American, they love a good destructive act. Hold on. I think my mom got the itch yesterday to call into live streams. I think she liked the audience. She's trying to call in right now. Let me see what she wants.
Just wanted to know if you knew Bill Walton died.
I just did the live stream. I just talked about it. Yeah, he's dead at he's dead at 71. He finished his career at the Celtics. Celtics equals 71, and today the Celtics have a chance to advance to the NBA Finals, and if they do, they'll keep the opposing coach on 71 playoff wins. So it's pretty obvious what happened to him.
It just came up, and it said 4 minutes ago, and I thought maybe I went to work, so I couldn't listen to the show. So
he's dead. He's dead 666 days after Bill Russell, the other famous Celtic, and he finished his career with the Celtics in '87, like how old the Pope is right now. So,
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the update. All right. Bye. Something tells me she didn't know I talked about it. She just wanted to get on the stream. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Shout out to everybody's mom. And by the way, this is going to be a short stream. Lizzo in the news. They're bringing Lizzo, South Park, and Ozempic together. Apparently, the new episode of South Park made fun of Lizzo and a new weight loss drug called Lizzo or something like this, but had an Ozempic parallel. Again, it's just a reminder. It's all news by the numbers. She has responded to this on her 30th day of her age, has Lizzo. And again, if you're new here, Gematria, very simple. Alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z, the 26 letters, 26, most simple cipher. Also just running the alphabetic order in reverse. And then both orders with numerology. So 4 base ciphers. A word will give you 4 values. You can see how Ozempic equals 8742. That's the alphabetic order, 87. Alphabetic order with numerology, 42. Reverse alphabetic order, Ozempic's 102. Reverse with numerology is 30. And then you can see how similar it is to slavery. It's just flipped. Slavery is 102 and 30, and 87 and 42. And remember, the American Civil War, which had a lot to do with slavery, began on the 102nd day of the year, April 12th, 1861. Remember what they did with George Floyd the other year for Memorial Day. George Perry Floyd has that 102. And again, George Floyd was killed in a huge Catholic ritual in Minneapolis. If you need the reminders, he was pulled out of a Mercedes-Benz ML 320. That's the key digit, 320. And then he was killed in front of Police Cruiser 320 in the very Catholic Twin Cities, where one of them is St. Paul. Again, saints are Catholic. But Roman Catholic Church in Gematria equates to 320. And again, the Catholic Church has been celebrating Jesus' birthday on Christmas Day since 320 AD, which was 46 years after they began celebrating the sun in the sky's birthday on Christmas Day in 274 AD. The 46 years later matters because Catholic, of course, equates to 46, and George Floyd was reportedly 46 years old. He's also from Houston, Texas, which is a 46 city. And right now, in the time of this anniversary, you have the Texas team beating up on the Minnesota team, parallels to George Floyd. They've done a number of rituals with sports. They're always doing rituals with sports connected to news, but I think what's going on right now with Dallas and Minnesota is another one. So yeah, look at the overlap with Ozempic and slavery. And again, Lincoln blamed the American Civil War on the Jesuits. Go look into his remarks. He said at the beginning of the war, he didn't even know they existed. By the end of the war, he realized that they'd orchestrated the whole thing. And he also realized that the Jesuits were the greatest purveyors of slavery in America. So, you just think about a black woman on this Memorial Day being in the headlines for being made fun of on South Park. And, with regards to South Park, the banned episode of South Park, the title of that episode, if you didn't know this, is 201. That familiar old 201. South Park in Gematria equates to 129 like Georgetown does. Georgetown's the first Jesuit university in the U.S. 129 is 201 in base 8 counting. 201 is 311 in base 8 counting, like event 201 was the simulation, and then 311 was the pandemic. And then before that, Anthony Fauci said at Georgetown it was going to happen in the time of Trump at a pandemic preparedness conference. But yeah, South Park, it's definitely part of the cabal. And we've talked about this in a number of ways. You might recall the Friday the 13th Paris attacks. What year was that? 2015? I think it was 2015 now. Time flies. But South Park, their movie, Team America World Police. If you haven't seen that movie, it's actually pretty funny. But that movie was so connected. It's just. Anyway, they're in the gang, right? That's why they release cartoons by the numbers that sync up with the code, that go with the perfect rituals, that pay tribute to the history. And there's a lot of wars being waged on humanity, and one is the war on taking care of yourself. Just from a young age, you're bombarded with all these advertisements to eat all this sugary crap that creates real addiction, that creates lifelong problems, that creates unhealthy people, that creates disease-riddled people that big companies make a lot of money off of. Again, that's one of the things they obviously realized. A sick populace is a great populace for making money off of, especially when you make all the healthcare stuff super expensive. So, and again, we're in the era now where we have Lizzos and jelly rolls. Literally, a jelly roll was like something that you never wanted to be accused of having or called, 20, 30 years ago. Now it's one of the biggest entertainers in the country right now. Lizzo and jelly roll, super obese celebrities. And it's all symbolic. She would have never been allowed to be a celebrity 30 years ago. And I'd say rightfully so. You don't want to put people like this on the world stage, in my opinion. You don't want to normalize this, but this is what America looks like now. So, no one should ever look like this. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. And see, society's just gotten so soft, you can't even call anything out for what it is. No one should be, more than 100 pounds overweight because they cannot control their diet. And just all the people's excuses, too. Okay, maybe you got abused as a child. I get it. That doesn't mean you should kill yourself and not deal with your problems and make excuses about what happened to you when you were a kid. I'm sorry. You became an adult. Say, okay, is it healthy to keep stuffing crap in my mouth that makes me super sick and obese? No. Society's just gotten weak, soft, and fat. It's like marshmallow people in more ways than one. Just soft and squishy. But yeah, of course, all by the numbers too. So on the 30th day of Lizzo's age, the Ozempic joke. And, I guess Oprah kind of used to look like Lizzo, but she slimmed down because she promotes Ozempic. So, yeah. Yeah, if you guys got here late, we ended up covering Bill Walton's death as well. Of course, that news is going to be ring. My mom's calling from the Portland area, so that's especially going to hit home in Portland. And just to remind you that Catholics and Jesuits are running the whole thing for all the people in Portland. What day did they get rid of Damian Lillard? Remember, it was a big old ritual. They got rid of him on the anniversary of the Jesuits being recognized by Rome. I'm sure that still the most common jersey worn in Portland right now is a Damian Lillard jersey. But yeah, here we can go back to the Lillard thing. It was 74 days after his 33rd birthday, like Oregon 74, and it's the 33rd state. Just how perfect. He leaves Oregon 74 days after his 33rd birthday. And by the way, Milwaukee is a suburb of Portland as well. He got shipped to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, but if anyone in Portland knows, that's where all the car dealerships are in Milwaukee. But yeah, Portland and Milwaukee. 137, same ciphers. Damian Lillard has that 56 like Society of Jesus like Bucks where he got shipped to. He got shipped there after 11 seasons. See how that works? He got shipped there for the Bucks' 56th season. Society of Jesus Day, September 27th. Jesus Cross, Messiah, Gospel Parables. Again, now we're talking about Bill Walton, who joined the Blazers in 74. Blazers did it in their 54 season. Jesuit Order 54, Society of Jesus 56. Two names for the same order. Hold on. I just want to see what they say Bill Walton died from. Cancer? Is that what I saw? Bill Walton's dead from cancer, huh? Cancer has the gematria of 26, like Celtics and Pacers. And if Carlisle does lose, he's going to stay on 71 wins. And he's going to fall to 26 and 26. Excuse me. Carlisle will stay on 71 wins with the in the NBA playoffs with all the teams he's coached for. With the Pacers, he would fall to 26-26. Again, Celtics and Pacers is 26, and so is Cancer. Oh, Bill Walton's birthday is November 5th. Is that right? Remember the 5th of November? The day leaving 56 days left in the year, Guy Fawkes Day. So that means did 204 days after the birthday. We covered that. The championship he won, it'll be the 47th anniversary. Well, actually, the NBA season used to end earlier back in the day. We might have just passed the here. Let's see when the 1977 NBA Finals ended. It's the one he won for Portland. Isn't that funny? They ended on June 5th. They ended on 5-6, like his birthday is the day, leaving 56 days left in the year. Portland won the series 4-2. You'll see that number a lot with the 76ers because 76ers has that 42 gematria. Almost to the 47th anniversary. All righty. Well, RIP Bill Walton. For all the people on the sports Patreon, we're about to start in a little more than 10 minutes. And again, if you're not on the sports Patreon, great time to sign up. It's always a great time to sign up, but now we're doing something new. We're giving away cash giveaways every single week, a little fun contest within the community. And again, if we can get a wave of supporters, we can up the cash prizes. So come support the work. Come learn how to take advantage of rig sports. Come learn how to wake up your friends and family. Most of them just can't get off their ass when it comes to these sports games, and they're literally wasting their life watching a scripted presentation. People spending way too much time on entertainment, not enough time on things that actually matter, like taking care of their health. That's a good point, too. Yeah, dead 38 years after that 86 season. Indeed. A link to the elections. Well, Joe Biden's Secret Service name is Celtic. If you guys forgot about the death of John Havlicek, the day that Joe Biden announced he was running for president, we can go back to that one real quick. Joe Biden's Secret Service name is Celtic, and one of the most famous Celtics ever died in a big old ritual. Again, the day Joe Biden announced he was running for president. So Havlicek, number 17. Remember, Biden born on the 17th birthday of RFK, who's also from Massachusetts. But Havlicek died 17 days after his birthday. NBA equals 17, while the Celtics are on 17 championships. We call it the 17 League, the NBA. And again, from Joe Biden's birthday to his death was 156 days. Boston Celtics 156. So Havlicek was 79, which is the 22nd prime, another big Boston number. Remember, they went to their 22nd championship in 22. And Society of Jesus, that formal title of the Jesuits, that 191 number had a lot to do with the death of Beau Biden. But John Joseph Havlicek, 191. Of course, Beau Biden died at 46, 201 days before the Pope's birthday. And then the Jesuit priest with the 201 name did the funeral for Beau Biden and the inauguration for Joe Biden as number 46 weeks after he was elected. Or he was elected 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday was Joe Celtic Biden. Celtics does have that 46 as well. And yeah, so violent images wipe away 17 months in an instant. Modern Freemasonry since 1717. DC, the Masonic city. All the American sports credited to Masons. Again, modern Freemasonry is a Jesuit creation. So, yeah, championships and deaths. I mean, it just never ends. It never ends. I didn't hear any warnings about Bill Walton's health in recent time. I'm just going to search Bill Walton cancer battle and see if anything comes up. Did they give us any recent stories? Yeah, I'm sure it was cancer. I'm sure that's what it was that got him today. This is almost as bad as the Dick Butkus death. Again, Dick Butkus died right before the Bears' primetime game where they got their first win of the season. And again, in Jewish gematria, Richard Butkus equals a big number. I think it's 787. Dick Butkus equals a little bit smaller number. But again, the Bears' record became exactly what Richard Butkus equals in wins and stayed on the amount of losses that Dick Butkus equaled as a franchise. The day of Dick Butkus' death. It's really one of the best examples of all time. And that was one of our biggest money-making days, taking advantage of Rig Sports, because we hit every single, and we had some big lucrative bets that day. Bears were a huge payout. We had Fields for 4 touchdowns. He nailed it. It was all synced up with old Dick Butkus. What a name. Here, one more thing. I didn't even run the name of Bill Walton. Let's get his full name. William Theodore Walton III. Just see the numbers on it real quick. I just can't believe more people. Whoa, what happened here? Well, there's that 128 that keeps showing up. My God, numbers everywhere this year. 281's the 60th prime. Let's see. Indiana Pacers has that 60. 281's the 60th prime. Bill Walton III is 147. Today, May 27th, is typically the 147th day of the year. It is a leap year, so it's the 148th day. But think about it. When you think about his death anniversary, 3 out of 4 times it's going to be the 147th day of the year. Bill Walton III equals 66. The finals start on June 6th. It'll be the Celtics' 78th birthday. Bill Walton III, 204. He's dead 204 days after his birthday. Bill Walton III, 87. Again, we've seen a lot of 87 in the time of the Pope being 87. And again, his last year with the Celtics was 87. So I don't think any of that's an accident. Looks a little bit too perfect. Bill Walton's also got the 60 like Indiana Pacers, and his full name had that 281, the 60th prime. It's the year of the 120th World Series, and there's been a lot of interesting things with Boston and Atlanta this year. Again, the old Braves team is from Boston. Hold on. Somebody's trying to call in. I don't know if they have something to add here. 203?
Hey, Zach, I just wanted you to throw in a calculator while you're up here. Just Walton and Boston. They just match in every cipher. Satanic, reverse satanic, Sumerian, everything.
All right. I'll try that out. All right. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. Walton equals basketball equals Boston. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Identical. All 4 ciphers is Boston. Exact same as in all 4. Basketball's 85-22. But you'll see Boston's 85-22, 77-32, just like that. Boston and Walton, perfect match. All right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. See the rest of you guys on the Patreon, and until next time.